And we're back here in the United States. What I got going on is some new hardware, uh, sort of an experiment in two things: staking and also lightning. That's what this device is for. This device is for running. This has both the Bitcoin blockchain and the Litecoin blockchain on it. It's got about a terabyte in here of storage, and that is not just a little SD card. You see, there is an SD card slot here, but it's empty. But the storage on this is actually a SSD that's attached right to the motherboard through a connector. Um, the other thing I have going over here is this is sort of my network tower. What I have is I have a 4G modem with a 4G internet plan. So this whole stack here is on its own network, separate from my network, and I have a switch down at the bottom, a 5-port switch. So you see, I have three devices plugged in here. I have the Raspberry Pi up top, which I kind of am just having here as sort of a jump box. The 4G modem is plugged into the switch as well. Sort of, I mean, it's sort of hard to see what's going on with the network, but for the most, I think it's best to look at the network tower, right? So this is my little jump box, and then my Wi-Fi, my 4G connectivity out to the rest of the world, and then just switch down at the bottom. I guess the switch, I should maybe put the switch on top. But size, they're just big, and so yeah, the plan here, this I got T-Mobile. You can do all cash and get the data plan, the SIM card. And then of course the rest of the devices I acquired, and this device I think is the best one because this is the one that actually is going to allow me to communicate with the Lightning Network, and so I can get out and I can convert my Litecoin, which is being mined not to this device. I'm still mining to my normal hardware wallet, but I can actually exchange my Litecoin into Bitcoin through the Lightning Network, and I'm using this box to do it. And the only reason I could run it on this box, it would just not be as good. This box is actually much more performant, and I guess that gives me a good opportunity to just sort of show you briefly what I have here. So I have a couple screens. For example, this is just HTOP. It's just a visualization of what this machine is doing. We're running most of our stuff through Docker Compose specifically, and you can see that the hardware here is actually a little bit more superior than what you would get on the Pi. We have 6 cores. That's the first thing. The more important thing, because you see we're not actually using a lot of CPU, but the more important thing is the memory. So we actually have 4 gigabytes of memory, and then the swap, we have 2 gigabytes of swap. And the swap is good. I mean, we have a solid state in there as opposed to an SD card. But yeah, I mean, you can't really run a high performance computing operation off of flash, not flash memory, like SSD, not SD cards, right? So you put an SD card in, which is not something that I actually knew. The guys who made this device from Crypdex, they built this and they loaded this with the software for me. They know that you can't do it on this. And it's funny because I'd used to do solo mining and things, and I would run, a whole blockchain on here, and for like solo mining operations, it just doesn't work. The whole device is not designed for high performance. So this is specifically designed to be high performance, which is what we want. The other thing is, so that's from like a software perspective, yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, so I have the Sparkswap machine running. I guess this is probably the first thing to look at. So this is I'm right now, the way that I'm connecting to this is through the Wi-Fi here. I just do Sparkswap, and that connects me. When I connect to the Sparkswap Wi-Fi, that connects me to this dongle, right? So I'm hitting this dongle. I'm not hitting this. This actually, you can't hit this. There's no wireless on this. The signal here is telling me this is the 4G signal that this is getting and sending back. So this is a 4G connection out. So I'm actually connecting with my computer to the dongle on the Pi, and then so when I'm connected, so that means that I have on the Pi, I'm running like the internet. The other thing is when I'm connected, what I can see is like the 4G internet. I can see how much I've used this month. I mean, you're going to pay for the internet to do this, to stay in sync with the Bitcoin and the Litecoin blockchain, and I'm going to potentially be in sync with up to 4 or 5. You're going to use internet just to keep up because these are, that's the way blockchains work. The other thing is, so yeah, I mean, that's what's running on this, I'm just SSH'd into it. I could just shell out of it real quick just to show you. It's just I'm back on the command line here. I've big. Right, so I have the wireless LAN, which I sort of set up. I have a DHCP running and some other things, and so yeah, there's a bunch of Docker stuff in here going because we do have the Sparkswap. Let's see if I can. So we have Sparkswap running on this device, right? So all the network, the BTC and LTC engines, so that's Lightning and the Bitcoin daemon, they're running, connecting to the relayer. That's the exchange where I can basically just do Litecoin to Bitcoin, and the daemons, everything looks healthy. So that's all good. The other thing that I have running on here is I have my own like front end running, and the only thing that I'm doing here is all I'm doing is I just have Sparkswap integrated. So you see I'm just on port 5000. This is just a Flask, Python Flask application. And what I have is I have Litecoin, all the exchanges that I'm working across, and my Bitcoin is basically how is it spread across them right now. And then this is just because I'm spreading things across the exchanges to do some sort of like inter-exchange arbitrage, and so I have some information about swaps down here, but this is just the UI I'm also doing. And the thing that I like more about this is it's just a unified wallet interface. Just shows me the multiple coins, and I'll probably, as they put more coins on the Sparkswap exchange, I'll probably add them into this grid here. But I will probably always be trading across a bunch of exchanges to get the best rates, and so it's going to eventually span out into a grid. So yeah, what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to move this device from there all the way to this nice position, just because I think this is a lot better of a place for it. I don't need it all the way on this. I don't need it on the end here, just kind of looking janky, and I want to hide the plugs and things. So yeah, that's not pleasant at all. So the next thing I'll do is I'm going to move this, and then I'll film another update because it's actually configured in such a way that I can pretty much just unplug it and replug it in, just power down there, and I'll be good to go. Okay, we're back in the US, and here's the move. I didn't actually move it to where I said I was, but I like it here better. It's like nice and cozy, tucked away over here on the TV. Not the first thing people see. Cable management could be better, I'm not going to see that all the time. Back away, it's kind of hidden. So, but yeah, everything booted right back up, which means everything's configured great. Bastion host right here, Sparkswap connected to the switch and connected to this. You can see that the modem is online. I also moved the modem over to the other side, so it was obvious. The modem is that one, and yeah, it's all working really well. And over here, my wallet and my balance, so you can see I have, on the device, 0.1, I guess BTC committed. As it syncs, I just unlocked it, so as it syncs, it'll become available. It's just not available because I just turned it online. But yeah, so that's the setup. Super mobile. Anywhere I can plug that thing in. It's actually not connected to anything else other than the power outlet that I plugged in. So these are the only 3 connections right here to the house. The rest is just it's connected to itself. So super mobile.